Today on Northern Revolutions, we're going to be talking about Bob Dylan covers. This is a contest entry for Steve at All the World's a Stage, so stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome to Northern Revolutions. I'm Rob. Welcome back if you're returning. Welcome if you're new. Contest time today. Steve from All the World's a Stage, a channel that I like quite a bit, is hosting a contest. Steve's doing a contest. It's kind of a tie-in between his love for Bob Dylan and his love for his mother. Dylan and his mom share a birthday. So with Dylan's birthday coming up, Steve's running a contest. It's a pretty simple one, actually. What he would like us to do is share our 3 favorite covers of Bob Dylan songs and share a memory of our mother. So, here we go. The first one I've got, and I should preface this by saying I'm not a Dylan fan. I'm trying, but it just doesn't appeal to me. So I am far from a Dylan expert. I'm almost Dylan ignorant, I would say. But I do have some Dylan covers in my collection. So without hesitation, I knew immediately what the first one was going to be. One of my favorite bands of all time, The Band. This is their album, Music from Big Pink, recorded in 1968. Off of here, the Dylan cover that I absolutely love was I Shall Be Released. Dylan and the band, actually, Dylan wrote it, recorded it sort of in demo form with the band during the Basement Tape sessions at Big Pink in '67, and it was later released in some expanded versions of the Basement Tape sessions. But the band commercially released it on this, which was their debut album in 1968, and Dylan would later re-record it on his Greatest Hits Volume 2, I believe it was, in '71, so 3 years later. I love the band, but I Shall Be Released is actually one of my favorite songs that the band ever did, and a fantastic Dylan cover. Of the few Dylan covers I have, it's without question the best. So, I Shall Be Released from Music from Big Pink by the band. The next one that came to mind instantly is also one that was in Steve's video. I love U2, and I've said many times, Rattle and Hum from, when did this came out, like 1988, is my favorite U2 album. And on this album, they cover All Along the Watchtower. As Steve pointed out, lots of people have covered it. Hendrix covered it. I have Hendrix version of it, which I really love. I love the U2's version more because I'm a bigger U2 fan than I am a Hendrix fan. And to me, there's just a lot of sentimentality with this album and various events in my life. Their version of this song is just one that has always marked a certain period in my life. So, All Along the Watchtower by U2. And lastly, is one that I only have a 45 of, The Mighty Quinn the Eskimo, Man for Man, British band. This is a song also, I believe, that Dylan had worked on during the Basement Tapes. It was first recorded commercially by Manfred Mann, and Dylan would do it several years later on one of his albums. There was a live version of it. I didn't know for the longest time that this was a Bob Dylan song. Sticks in my mind, I grew up listening to like oldies radio when I was a kid in the 80s, so it was 60s music. And so I heard this song all the time on the radio, loved it. And I have a fair collection of 45s of that type of like 60s oldies that I love from my childhood, and this is certainly one of them. So, Quinn the Eskimo by Manfred Mann. And the last thing that Steve wants us to do is share a little something about our mothers. It's a tough one. I have a complicated relationship with my mother. So it's hard for me to talk about. I am an only child. We were a close family. My dad passed away quite unexpectedly and in a pretty horrific fashion about 13 years ago. Initially that made my mom and I very close because I was there to help look after her, like help her through that process as she helped me through that process. But things have developed in the ensuing 13 years that we are quite distant, even though she only lives 5 minutes away. Fault lies on both sides. That's all I'll say. But it's difficult for me. I have tried to extend the olive branch on many occasions, only for it to not be reciprocated. We are on speaking terms, but it's superficial at best. She's the only family I have. I mean, obviously I'm married and have a wife and a son, and I have my wife's family, and they're wonderful and I love them dearly. But of my own biological family, she's all I have. I'm a grown-ass man. I can deal with, the separation or whatever. What's troublesome for me is that she has a young grandson that barely knows her, and that just breaks my heart. I don't know, maybe that was too much information, but Steve wanted to know a little bit about our mother. So it is Mother's Day tomorrow here in Canada, so I will wish my mother a happy Mother's Day. I wish things were better, and I hope someday they will be. Anyway, that's my entry for the contest. My friend Steve at All the World's a Stage. Fantastic channel. If you haven't checked it out, please do. Steve does a great series with Gary from Physical Format Rock and Roll called Spin on This. I'll be the next guest on the next episode, which I'm very much looking forward to. So please subscribe to Steve. I'll leave a link in the description. Thanks everybody for watching. Catch you on the flip side.